Well, this is talk number 2, and we're going to continue on from where we started and build. Once we've made a conscious choice to treat life as an experience, to be learned, lived, and loved, rather than an object to be controlled and manipulated, then the next step is to learn how to use our innocent curiosity to build our own personal inventory of knowledge about life and ourselves and other people. So the scientific attitude is just a modified scientific method. It is, in fact, the scientific method that I've stolen, and just don't include mathematics. So the scientific method consists of basically 4 elements. 1, you make observations, and you make them objectively. You keep your subjective opinions, feelings, intuitions, etc. out of your observations. Then you ask questions to get more detail, to understand something in more depth, to explore, and to discover. Next, you use your reason to start connecting causes and effects. So, if your mate is suddenly angry at you, or angry at you over a long period of time, you can begin to think that maybe, not necessarily, but maybe, he or she is angry because she wants something from you that she's not getting. If you're innocently curious rather than defensively manipulative and controlling, then maybe you'll start asking questions and also making observations to see if you're giving your mate attention. If you make it a point to understand his or her perspective, motivations. If you actually give him or her wholehearted attention and genuine, innocent interest. If you do, then you'll soon discover what he or she is angry about. And then if you explore that, you can also discover what's needed to bring a connection back into your experience and passion. And that is the beginning of love. A desire to learn about our mate, our children, ourselves, and life is how we begin to love life. It's very different from reacting and trying to get what we want. So, the scientific attitude is something that must be learned. It doesn't come naturally. And it's more difficult than it might seem. It's more difficult to observe something objectively, leaving your feelings, opinions, desires, and fears out of what you are seeing. Then to ask questions, especially when it's painful or might make you feel bad about yourself, is also difficult. Asking questions for information rather than to prove a point or to lead the witness. Most of us are much better as attorneys than as scientists who just want to understand. So it is a huge part of human development to shift from the normal attitude of drawing conclusions, having tons of uninformed opinions, creating prejudices, to being very innocently curious and using the scientific attitude to ask questions, make observations, use our reason, and then experiment. If we think that we're not giving enough quality attention to our mate or our child, we can experiment and give them more quality attention. We can figure out what quality attention is, how to give quality attention, how to be quiet, observant, receptive, relaxed. Not giving our people that we love divided attention, but giving them undivided attention with wholehearted and innocent interest, rather than trying to guide them, advise them, direct them. So, learning how to give the attention we've always wanted to receive is a step in human development. It's a step few people ever make. And it's a step we all need to make, because every human being that I've ever met or ever read about was hungry for undivided, wholehearted, and innocent interest and attention. So, it takes awareness and skill to provide that kind of attention. And at the center of mental and emotional development, one of the things that we do is teach you the skills you need and the awareness that's required to give yourself undivided attention, life undivided attention, and other people undivided attention, with the innocent purpose of learning. And the scientific attitude is the source of all real learning. So, that's enough for this talk, and we'll talk some more later.